What's up, guys? My name is Dane Miller. I'm a 21-year-old student at the University of Iowa, and this is my Jed North Physique War application video. So first of all, huge thank you to the entire Jed North team for letting us have this opportunity to present ourselves, to come and potentially compete for a spot on the team. I think that's so awesome of you guys, and it's super cool that you let people have this opportunity to display themselves and kind of show you who they are. So just thank you very much. Huge appreciation for the opportunity. Special thank you to Neil for letting me send this video in a day late. I did not know when the deadline was. That's completely my fault. So huge thank you again. So a little about me and my past. I've been training for about 7 years since I was a freshman in high school, since I was about 14 years old. And I got into training because for as long as I can remember, I was a really, really skinny kid. And I don't mean like kind of skinny, I mean like cartoon skinny. Because when I was growing up, I was a swimmer. And I was really good at swimming, but I naturally couldn't gain any weight. I ate a ton all the time because I was always starving. But when you're swimming 4,000 or 5,000 yards a day, because I used to do 2 a days and that's what we would do, it's almost impossible to gain weight, especially if you're growing at the time. And me being 6'5", 206 pounds now, I had a lot of growing to do. So I got into lifting because I was really small and I really hated that. So I remember this, I saw Thor, the first Thor movie when it came out. And I remember there was a scene, sounds really weird, scene where Chris Hemsworth takes off his shirt and the dude is just jacked. And I remember seeing him, and I remember seeing Captain America later, and both of those guys were just completely jacked. And I remember thinking, I want to look like that, I want to be able to take off my shirt and have that same effect. I want to be that strong, I want to be that fast, I want to be able to do the things that these guys do to the extent that the human body actually can. So I started lifting, and really at first I was more of a power lifter, because I tried to put on muscle and I tried to get as strong as I could for football, because I was a defensive end and I was weighing in at like 160 at 6 feet tall. Not a great combo. So I remember asking my football coach how to gain weight, and I listened to his advice and I started eating everything that I could. I would eat about 7 or 8 meals a day, and when I wasn't eating, I would walk around with a giant bag of trail mix that was like this big, and I would just eat nuts the entire day. So it worked pretty well. I gained some size, and I'm thankful for that because that's where my foundation came from now, and that's really how I got to where I'm at. So when I got into college, I wasn't really in the bodybuilding mindset yet, but after my senior year, I'd started to look into it a little more. I really got enticed by Greg Plitt, rest in peace, but he's one of my heroes, and I still watch his videos to this day. I think he's one of the most inspiring people in the industry, and he really just pushed my mind to that level of, what can you achieve? What can you make yourself? And that was how I kind of got into bodybuilding, ironically, because he wasn't a bodybuilder. But from those videos, I started to watch some of Machiavelli motivational videos, and those are naturally all bodybuilding videos. So I started to watch some Jay Cutler. I started to see some more things about Kai Green, and those were really the 2 bodybuilders that I first got into, aside from Arnold, of course. Damn, mosquito, sorry about that. And I started to do a lot more research on how I could train like these guys, how I could get bigger, how I could develop my muscles so that I could be a lot more shredded, have the 6-pack, That was what I was first interested in. And bodybuilding kind of came into fruition for me, and I decided that it was my path because when I got into college, I didn't like going out all the time. I didn't really fit in that way with everyone. And I had some pretty bad anxiety attacks for my freshman year. I would have one, usually 1 to 2 a day at a certain point in my life, and that was pretty hard for me. But I remember what I would do is whenever I went to the gym, the longer that I would train, the more it would take my mind off of those things that would kind of drive me crazy. The more that I trained, the better that I felt. So I started training longer, I started training harder. And then once I started eating better, I started to notice that kind of helped me feel better as well. It wasn't just if I trained longer, it was how I treated my body. If I treated my body well, then my mind would kind of follow. So that was how I really got into bodybuilding. It was kind of a overall health switch for me. It really helped me to shape myself into the person that I wanted to be, and it's really still helping me do that to this day. So that's enough droning on about that. I had my first men's physique show in March. I placed 4th out of a class of, I think, 8. And, I wasn't thrilled with that, but it being my first show, I was okay with it. I was in the best shape of my life for that show. But now, transitioning forward, I really want to move into classic physique, which is why right now I'm in a bulk. I'm trying to put on as much size as I can, 6'5", 206, trying to get up to about 220 for this bulk right now before I cut back down for my next show. So, working on that in classic physique, posing a lot. So why I think I would be a good Jed North ambassador. I've been following a ton of the Jed North sponsored guys for a long time. One of my personal favorites, Carlton Loth, I think he's one of my favorites because he's about my age. So when I look at him, I see how much he's been able to accomplish just in such a young age and exactly what he is, the kind of person that he is. I feel like him and I would get along really well, but whenever I watch him and I see the videos that he posts and things, I have this mental competition going with him because we're the same age. So I think I would be a great addition to the team because I think that I am a little different, and I think that I would bring a great energy to the team and an energy to the industry, which is what I'm continuing to do regardless. That is just a little bit of a different perspective. I come from a bit more of a bodybuilding from a total health perspective, because for me it was what helped me develop that connection between my mind and my body so that my mind could heal where my body didn't need to necessarily. So I think that I bring a bit of a different perspective there. I also absolutely love helping people, motivating people, and showing them what they can do to change their lives and shape themselves into the person that they want to be. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'm also a personal trainer, and that's the industry that I love to serve, people who are kind of lacking in confidence, people who are having some issues with their mind and that they really need that push forward. That's what I love to do. So I think I would be a great representative of your team, and I think I would be a great member because I think that I would bring a great energy to it, and I think that I would be able to serve and kind of communicate with a different group of people that you guys might not have been able to touch on yet. So that's a little about me. I would love the opportunity to compete in the Physique Wars. If not, regardless, thank you guys so much for this opportunity.